Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my brand new series here on YouTube. I will be titling this Talking Tuesday. So, as you listen to this, as you watch this, it's Tuesday, obviously. This show will be a different type of series in comparison to my tube series. That show is on my channel. I'm already over 30 episodes. That's the show where I talk about me, my life stories, my life experiences. Okay, it's all about me in that show. This show, I thought it'd be a little different. I just talk about whatever. I'm just gonna talk about whatever. Okay, and hopefully it's interesting enough, and hopefully you listen to it in its entirety. We'll see. We'll see. We might not make it past episode one. We'll see. We'll see if I can come up with interesting topics to talk about. Okay, so yeah, you guys be the judge for yourselves, type of thing. Um, anyways, one of the things I wrote down here to talk about is that it's starting again. The hoarding of supplies, being toilet paper, cleaning supplies, is starting again here. You restart the lockdown and that's the effects. People feel the need to hoard supplies for whatever reasons beyond my comprehension. I don't understand why. I don't, because it, this whole pandemic has nothing to do with toilet paper. It has nothing to do with supplies finishing. I guess in people's heads, they hear lockdown. They hear lockdown and they start to believe that, okay, I better hoard supplies because I might not be able to leave my home to get to these supplies and get to them. And others, maybe they're like, okay, the last time there was a lockdown, people hoard supplies and I was left out. So now this time I'm gonna be hoarding at the start. So I don't have to worry later about all these stuff that I won't be able to get. Guys, guys, people, listen, listen. There's no need to hoard supplies. Okay? Just get a regular amount of supplies that is necessary for the week. Okay? If you need some more toilet paper at the end of the week, go to your stores and there'll be some. If nobody hoards, then it won't be an issue. Okay? Don't be that hoard. It affects the rest of us. It affects us all. Come on, be rational. Think a little clearly. And I know it starts with some people, especially the younger folks, that they believe everything they see on the internet. I know because I have sisters that they'll buy into it. They'll buy into everything they read on their little Facebooks or whatever social medias. And they'll start believing that the gas is gonna run out or the toilet paper is gonna run out. Use logic. Use logic. The toilet paper, cleaning supplies should not run out. It has nothing to do with what's going on in the world. Calm down, people. That's just my opinion on all that. Um, also wanted to talk about how 59 Texas bars violated the pandemic order, and seven of those 59 bars has been suspended. Okay, so part of the pandemic order I was reading is that they needed to close at 12 noon, from my understanding. So they refused to close, and therefore their alcoholic license has been suspended for 30 days. Guys, this is just my opinion here. Um, I feel that it's not essential, it's not of importance to have bars open. So the bars should be considered themselves grateful and lucky they're allowed to be open even up until noontime. At the very least, at least you're lucky to get that. Okay? Follow the orders. They're there for a reason. Okay? Um, I would. I would follow the order because if you don't, the point of that order is to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do your part. Close if you're ordered to close. If you're ordered to close at a certain time, be grateful you're allowed open, especially if you're not of an importance of business. It's not an essential. Bars are not necessary for the human race to live on. You don't need alcoholic beverages to have a life. Honestly, you don't. Okay? So if it's not that important, consider yourself grateful that the government even allow your business to open up until 12 noon or whatever the limit is. Be grateful for follow whatever pandemic orders are put into play. Respect the government and just do your parts and everything will be good. And now for weeks or days I've been getting these headlines on my news feed, on my Google News about J.K. Rowling and J.K. Rowling having heat and problems with the fans, Harry Potter fans having problems with the writer of the book, J.K. Rowling, and they're having issues with her because she's against transgender and yada yada yada. It's like, and it keeps coming up on my newsfeed and coming up and coming up and coming up. I don't care. I don't want to read this hate. I don't want to read this stuff. And now I get a headline that now she has issues with Stephen King because he's supporting a transgender woman. So now she's deleting tweets that she's praised King with in the past. Come on. I don't want to know. This is childish behavior. Can't anyone form their own opinion without getting heat, without the hate? If Stephen King wants to support trans women, that's his thing. Okay? If J.K. Rowling wants to have an opposite feeling of that, that's her thing. Let her have her opinion. Who gives a damn? Who cares? It's not gonna affect any transgender, whether somebody is for or against them. How does that affect them to begin with? It doesn't. J.K. Rowling doesn't have authority. She doesn't have power to manipulate anything in their lives. Okay? Like, who cares? And if Stephen King is supporting trans people, let them. Let them. Again, he has no authority to, as well, like, let these people support or not support whoever they want. Who cares at the end of the day? That's why I don't give my opinion on political stuff. Because first of all, who gives a damn, right? Who cares what I think? And secondly, If I know it's controversial, then there's no reason to say it. There's no reason other than you want to purposely make people feel bad. You purposely want to put people down. You purposely would like to bury other people. Then that's why you say these things. Other than that, just keep your mouth shut. Like, seriously. And those who don't keep their mouth shut, like, who cares? Who cares if they don't keep their mouth shut? It's their opinion. You don't have to hate them for it. Just respect each other's opinion, guys. It does not matter. It does not matter what she thinks, he thinks, or any of us think. It does not matter. Okay? I'm gonna sleep well at night regardless of what J.K. Rowling thinks of trans people or not. Doesn't affect me. I'm not transgender. And most of these people who are getting pissed off at her fans turning on her, as I read, they're not trans people. So it affects them no way, shape, or form. Okay, so let's move on. I don't want this. This is not about politics. So let's move on to something different. If you're looking for some recommendations for things to check out on Netflix, I'm gonna give you my opinion on some stuff that you can check out on Netflix. Um, First, I guess stuff I saw months ago. A few months ago, I I watched Sick Note. Okay, Sick Note. It's a comedy. Um, it's how can it's a good show. I think it's a well written comedy act show. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining, and I recommend you check it out if you have not seen it. It starts um, Robert from the Harry Potter movies. He's in this TV series. Um, so yeah, I believe it was 3 seasons. I watched it all in about maybe 4 to 5 days. This was a few months back, and it was entertaining and funny, like I said. So if you're looking for a good laugh and a good comedy, I suggest you watch this series, Sick Note. Okay, another comedy I would suggest is this series from the UK, The In Betweeners. That's a good comedy one. That's 3 seasons as well. Uh, I saw it all in probably a week, maybe even less. It's pretty comical. Some good stuff. Some good stuff, guys. I recommend it. If you love comedies, check this series out. It's on Netflix. I've seen it 3 times already, over the past few months. So it's that entertaining for me to go back and watch it several times. Then it must mean it's good, because people who know me know that I'm not really into comedy. It's really got to be funny for me to repeatedly watch over and over again. So for me to go back to the in betweeners tells you a lot. So yeah, I recommend those two comedies. Um, few months ago too, maybe this was last year, but I watched Atypical. Um, I already seen all the 3 seasons. Still waiting on the fourth and final season, but I suggest you watch that. That's a coming of age series about a character who's living with on the spectrum. He's um yeah, it's a I guess you could say it's a good, well, in some ways it's comedy, In some ways, it's comedy, but it's much more than that. There's sad moments, there's lovely moments. But I think it's a good show to watch, so I recommend that. Um, no, now that was months ago. Now recently, I'm gonna recommend stuff that I've seen recently, from what I can remember. Okay, um, yeah, you might want to check out Demonic, guys. It's not a great horror film. It is not scary by any stretch of the imagination. But guys, Demonic, in my opinion, it's a good film, but not because of its horror. It's a good film because I believe it has a unique story. I believe that it was written better than most horror films these days. And this film came out, I believe, in 2015, if I remember correctly. Um, I believe it was directed by James Wan too. So you know, there's a name you recognize if you're familiar with the horror genre. So Demonic, I think it's great, but not because of its scare factor, because it's not scary. But I think it's great because it tells a different story. It's not as cliche as most horror films the past few years, and I think it has a unique twist at the end that you would not expect. And because of that, I recommend you check out Demonic. I think you will enjoy it in different ways that you probably wouldn't enjoy, most horror films these days and years. Um, so yeah, go check it out and see if I'm nuts or not. But you can base your own opinion after you watch it. Um, there's also a movie, Girl on the Third Floor, for those wrestling fans, for those WWE fans. It stars former WWE superstar CM Punk, Phil Brooks. He's in this movie. Um, Again, it's not horror by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing scary about this film, but it is different. It is unique, and it's in a lot of ways. And I think it's kind of more. It's not predictable. You know, I think it's unique in the genre. So I would recommend you check that out because it's not cliche-ish for the horror films. And so I think because of that, I recommend it. Once again, it's not scary, right? And but it's still interesting enough for you to check out, and I think you'll enjoy it when it's over. That's just my opinion on that. Um, so yeah, most recently I've also seen the documentary. This is documentary now. Don't F with Cats. It's a three-part series, meaning there's only 3 episodes on the Netflix. Okay, it's a documentary series. It's it's a true one. It's a true document, that follows how they catch this internet cat torturer, cat killer that ends up e- eventually killing a person. Okay, so basically that's the documentary about a guy who's twisted enough to upload videos on YouTube or on the internet about torturing cats and killing them, which eventually leads to him killing a person. And then, basically the story follows, internet nerds who are trying to get justice. Okay, so I haven't even watched the third of it. I have not gone back to finish the documentary. I'm pretty sure I will soon. And that was a couple of weeks ago. I just, you know, Eventually, I'll get to the third episode or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think that's good enough to recommend. So check it out, you guys. I mean, I'm recommending this, guys, and all these shows and films because I know a lot of us are stuck at home. So if you don't know what else to watch that's on your Netflix, at least give these recommendations a try and see how you feel about them. Another show that's partly new to Netflix, and I guess it's popular because it came out on the number one trend, and it's The Floor is Lava. That's pretty interesting and unique of a game show. Check that out. I've seen about 4 episodes with the wife. We like it. It's alright. I mean, it's something to watch, together as a family. It's probably more enjoyable. Get your kids together, have a good laugh. You'll enjoy it, I believe. I think it's more fun as a group, as a family. I think it'll be kind of dull to watch alone. So that's just my opinion. Recently, I seen this show on Netflix, Glitch. I just finished season one, in fact, last night. So I've been watching this for the past several days. Um, Basically, the premise of the show is about seven, I believe, people are risen from the graves and they come back from the dead. Without giving any spoilers away, that is the premise of the show, and I think it's a good show to watch and recommend. Glitch, go check it out. So yeah, hopefully you guys check those out. If you give it a try, you never know, you might like them as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are were looking for recommendations to being stuck at home, staying at home, working from home, whatever the case is for you. So now you have those recommendations from me. Thanks for listening. Hope we can do this again next time. Subscribe if you want, and have a good night, y'all. Subscribe.